All right. Hello, everybody. It is October 10th here, and we're getting ready for Halloween, I guess. That's our next thing. So, anyway, any questions you guys got? Come on out and go for it.
Well, John,
Yeah,
Gregory,
go ahead, Gregory.
I want to thank you very much for hitting me with the 2x4. Jeremy Newsom.
Always happy to do that.
Yeah. Jeremy Newsom was one of my teachers, and I talked to him about, I did one of his seminars, and I asked him, how can I sign up? And he wrote back, and he says, you know enough, stop studying, go make money.
Yeah.
So here I emailed you about the offer from, was it Zoom, I think it was? No, SM Rush. And,
Yeah.
and it was like, I answered my own question in the email, and then you came back and reconfirmed it. It was like, thank you. Let's get to work, make money.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
my opening comment, and let the ball pick up from there. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's an important fact. You know, a lot of people will put something off because they keep putting things in front, and it's kind of one of those head issues. A lot of times, people get stuck, and it's a mindset type of thing. And there's a lot of different people, offering mindset courses and all that kind of stuff. But the reality of it is, you just, you're in charge. You have to make a decision and, just decide, hey, enough's enough. I've got to move forward. The thing that often moves people to action is pain, and for me, it's like, I would like to get you there before you have the pain. So many people will hit a point where they've spent all their money, their credit cards are maxed out, they're broke, they have no income, and they've got to do something. And for me, it's like, let's not go to that point. Let's not go to that extreme before we realize the wheel is flat. We've got to put some air in it. Business, I had this conversation with Joe yesterday, and it revolved around basic business. And the deal is, basic business is for profit. It's not to create a job for yourself. So many people I see, they get into business, or they open a business, and they don't realize that they just created a job for themselves. The difference between a business and a job is, a job, you basically have things that you have to do during the day that generate money for you. And it's a trade of time for dollars. And a business is the same thing, but it's not a trade of your time for the dollars, hopefully. Otherwise, like, a lot of people jump into coaching, and coaching is the same thing. If you're not coaching, if you're not spending your physical time, you're not getting paid. So there's a real clear line distinction between a job and a business. A true business, the owner of the business is able to walk away for a day, a week, a month, probably not a year, but at least a month. If they wanted to take a month off and go vacation and just do things, they shouldn't have to worry if they're going to come home and that business is going to be gone or destroyed. A real business has operating procedures in place. It's got people in place to do the things that are supposed to be done, or they're automated. If you look at big businesses, they have the people at the top running the business. They're not actively working in the business. It's like, you don't expect Carl Kartcher behind the grill flipping the burgers, right? That's not how it worked. Same thing, we used Ray Kroc as another example. He worked in the business long enough to create processes and then automated them. But like McDonald's, for example, they have operating manuals for everything. They could literally hire a new person, and without any human interaction, that person would come in, there would be a procedure manual, and they could train themselves without even having a trainer. You know, that's an automation of a business, of how it runs. So the other thing too, the difference, another, you know, distinct difference between having a job for yourself and having a business is scalability. If everything in your business is based on you doing the work, that's not very scalable. You only have so many hours in the day, and you can only accomplish so much. You know, and nothing is wrong with creating a job for yourself. If you just don't like a boss and you just want to get by and you want to have a, you know, a good living, there's nothing wrong with that, but just understand the difference between the two. If you're in it for freedom, like most business owners, most entrepreneurs, they seek freedom. The problem is they just create jobs for themselves. And here's another thing that I came to this conclusion just yesterday. The difference between business people and entrepreneurs, there is a big difference there. Most of the entrepreneurs that I know, entrepreneurs are people that are very creative. They come up with all kinds of great ideas, and then they have trouble sometimes implementing them because they're missing the business piece. They're missing that business framework or background or knowledge or what have you. But and that's why a lot of them fail. You know, Forbes magazine, I've quoted this many times. It says, I believe it says 80% of all new businesses will fail within the first 18 months. I mean, that's a staggering number. That's a massive amount of failure for new businesses. And what it is, it's a lot of people starting things, and they don't have any business background. They don't have any business knowledge, and they don't have any marketing either. You know, they just have an idea and they run with it. You know, it's like a lot of people call it a dream. You know, I've got a dream. And, you know, when I look at their dream, I often see that's not a dream, that's a nightmare. So it's interesting. That's one of the really key things about the ACT program, is it allows you to put on these business goggles and look at something and see if it's a real opportunity. You know, the first thing is see if there really is a market. You know, are you building something for, you know, in hopes that people will come and discover it and they don't know about it, and they have no need for it or use for it. The dangerous part in being an entrepreneur and not having real mentors mentoring you and pulling you along, the dangerous part of that is when you share your idea with a group of people, family, friends, you know, whoever it may be, if they don't have the business knowledge and they're not looking at it in that way, they're probably just going to cheer you on. And that would be the equivalent of you standing at the edge of a cliff, looking over, saying, should I jump? I don't have a parachute. Should I jump and hope for the best? And having this group of people go, yeah, right on, give it a shot. Let's see how that works for you. That is often what happens. And, you know, with ACT, you can look at this and you can say, do I have a parachute before I make this jump? You know, if you have a parachute and you want to make the jump, that's cool. If you don't have a parachute and you want to make that jump, that's just lunacy. And to cheer people on to do that is, like, in my eyes, that's just a criminal behavior. But I see it all the time. And, you know, so be careful who you look to as a mentor. Are they doing what you want to do? Have they done it successfully? That's a real key thing. If you're asking people for advice about something you're trying to do and they've never done it before, you might want to seek different type of advice. So, you know, and that's just a key thing. I've seen very few entrepreneurs that really came to the playground with a business background. It's kind of a rare anomaly. So the good part about this, there's two really good things. The first one is the business side can be learned. It's a learned skill. You know, it's a muscle we all have. We just often don't exercise it too often. So, but it can be built. Like sales, most people don't really know sales. And if you're in business and you don't know sales, that's a big problem. But sales can easily be learned. So all business can be learned. It's all pretty basic stuff. You know, it on a deeper level, it ties into a lot of psychology and what makes people do what they do. But when you understand that, you don't need a psych degree. You just need a basic understanding of this is really a simple thing. People want certain things for certain reasons. And if you have something that will deliver that result, you have to communicate that. You have to communicate it in a way that they hear it, they understand it, they want it. Builds demand, desire, eliminates objections, and then you make an offer. If you do all of that, you should be pretty successful at converting. So, okay, say it asks if it's free for Kartra. Kartra is actually a third-party software. It's a really good marketing software. It's not a free one, though. I believe they're low level, which is all you need. The cool thing about Kartra is they don't like upsell you on a bunch of stuff. They give you everything you need in one box. The low level is good for just about anybody getting started. And I think it's 89 or 99 bucks a month. And you could run your entire business off of that. It does everything. It has built in, it has a help desk for you to support managed customers. It's got a shopping cart. It's got autoresponders, databases, follow-up sequences. It's got all of that stuff. But it's unfortunately, I don't know of any program like that that is a free program. There's a lot of free like pieces and patches. You can use WordPress. WordPress is free, and they've got a lot of different things that you can patch together and kind of build yourself. But none of it, there's nothing that gives you like an all automated in one type thing like Kartra that I know of. There's quite a few different programs that are similar to Kartra out there. There's Kajabi is one that a lot of people use and really like. It's very similar. Kartra and Kajabi are very similar. There's other programs, I forget the name of it, but there's a cheaper one. I think it's 49 bucks a month. Some people used it. They thought it was great at first, and then they all dumped it. It didn't hold water. It looks great, but I've been using Kartra now for over a year, and I absolutely love it. I can't imagine running my business without it, to be honest.
It's a wonderful, John. Yeah, Kartra is amazing formula, funnel formula, and I learned a lot from Kartra about, and it's a magic trick.
Yeah, it's like having a magic ball, magic wand. It's just like everything that you need in one spot.
Kindly tell me about bonuses. Were mentioned about active member can get bonuses. Can I avail it?
Yeah. There's we have a bonus section inside the membership area, and there's a lot of free stuff in there. Some of it we've had built just for our members. There's some of it is stuff like we recommend. So I have a resource guide for things that I recommend. But then if you look in the free bonus section, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Oh, okay.
Different software programs that we've actually had made ourselves just for our people. And there's a really cool one in there. It's called the Automated Sales Attendant. And what it is, it's a video software, and it works with YouTube. So you get a free YouTube account, you set up the software, and then you can start creating videos, and it's for an A/B video thing. And basically, it's to carry on a conversation, automated conversation through video. And it goes something like this. The first video says, you know, hi, welcome to our site. Let me ask you a question. Are you interested in A or B? And then they click on the A or B button, and then the next video loads. And it says, oh, cool, okay. If you're interested in A, then here's some things that might really interest you. But let me ask you one more question before we move forward. You know, which one of these appeals to you most? You know, A, B, or C? And then they click another button, and then another video loads. So you can it's almost like being a real salesperson. A real salesperson is going to ask questions to understand what's important, so they know which direction to take the conversation. And this automates that process in video, which is really, really cool. You don't see that a lot. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anybody else using that other than a few of our people that are using our software for it. So it's a cool thing.
Yeah. Can I ask something more?
Sure.
I have complete about 66% video completion about Wire. So after 100% completion, what will the next procedure for us?
Okay, so when you're going through the ACT program, when you complete the process, it's kind of like you should go through it one time just as an absorption thing. I recommend that you kind of take notes, you go through the process, and the workbook is there to basically fill out along the way. But then I also recommend that once you get through that, once you run through it one time, you go back and you start over. And now you're starting with the intent that I'm going to create a marketing campaign. Some people will just create the marketing campaign right out of the gate as they go, and that's okay too. But some people, like, if you're not familiar with the whole process, sometimes it's good to like lay the groundwork in your mind before you go back to actually create. So that's really the thing, is it's a system basically to create marketing campaigns. So the job number one is learn the system. Job number two is to implement the system. If you can do both of those at the same time, that's really cool. Some people can. A lot of people, if they're not familiar at all with marketing and how it works, it's good just to learn it first. And then you go back and you say, okay, based on what I know now, I'm going to pick a particular campaign, and I'm going to go back to ABC, and I'm going to build this campaign. And then once it's built, then you drive some traffic to it. There's a lot of different traffic sources. If you notice, if you go back in, I just updated the actual back end just recently, and I put a whole bunch of new videos in there under the traffic section, and I believe it's in the introduction part. And I have just basic conversations of about 12 different traffic sources. Before I just did the pay-per-click and the SEO and the Facebook. But now I've added a whole bunch of other ones that are really good for a lot of people. You know, some people don't want to spend money on traffic. They don't want to pay for ads. And there's a lot of other ways to get traffic where you don't have to pay up front for it. You know, there's CPA networks, there's affiliates, there's influencers, there's celebrity endorsements. There's all kinds of different ways to drive traffic. But ultimately, you want to pick the right traffic source, and you want to get some people that are targeted. You know, you want to get targeted traffic into your funnel, into your offer, and just make sure that it converts. And then once it converts, you get some basic numbers. Once you have those numbers, now you know, okay, I can afford to spend X amount to acquire a customer, and then you can scale up.
Can I ask more?
Sure.
Is this complete video training specifically ads campaign, and especially SEO, search engine optimization? No, have a more videos just as one article about SEO dominators. Can in the future more videos upon SEO or SEM?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. If you go into the traffic section, there's under the SEO tab, I have my
Yeah.
entire SEO Dominator training. It's in a
Yeah.
little bit different format. Down the left side, there's a bunch of links to all the different sections where I cover on-page optimization, linking strategies, press releases, you know, all of that different stuff for SEO specifically. Now, as you know, SEO does change and update constantly. And that's where
Yeah.
that conversation kind of goes on here live. So as things update, and a lot of times what I'll do once a year, I do a live conference on SEO. And I haven't done one in the last couple of years because I've been kind of refocusing more on the marketing end of things. But I think probably early next year, I'll probably do another one in 2020. And then I'll update a lot of the stuff. But everything that has been going on since the last training and now has all been covered here in the live calls. You know, when things change and things are important, I always talk about them here live.
Oh, fine.
So, yeah, but I should, it has been a long enough time, I should go back and like detail it out in the actual training. You know, that's a good idea for me to do that anyway.
Okay.
You know, one of the biggest shifts in SEO over the last 3 or 4 years has been the shift to artificial intelligence. And
Oh,
the whole meaning behind that, the purpose and the reason behind that is so Google could figure out what a good user experience was by means of looking at how people actually interact with content online. So that was one of the big drivers for me to create the ACT program, was to let people know how to figure out what's important to your customers, so you know how to create content for them. And that's been like one of the biggest drivers in SEO, is creating the right content that people actually engage and interact with. And the other thing about it, it converts too. So it's like a win-win on both sides. If it converts, you make more money. If you make more money, Google likes you better because you convert, and then they send you more traffic. So
yeah.
it's so intertwined now that it's forcing people to do the right thing, which is create good content, really good content, not from an algorithmic standpoint, but from a consumer standpoint. And they know how to measure that now.
I know when I joined this platform, I have received from email, when you complete your apprenticeship about 3 months, and we will find where you suitable for this position. Is it right? Uh, and is it opportunity for me when we complete 3 months apprenticeship?
Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a section in there for people that have gone through that actually want to provide services for other people. There's a lot of people that are in this program because they're in business, they want to grow their business, but a lot of times they want to outsource a lot of the nitty-gritty stuff. So there's definitely opportunities in there. Like if you want to go in there and say, you know, I specialize in this, I could build a funnel for you, or I can write, you know, ad copy for you, or, you know, whatever you want to offer in there, SEO services, you know, whatever it might be. I'm going to create a section in there under our resources tab, and anybody that has gone through and knows how to actually do the program, that's where that will be. So yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
oh,
There's
okay.
a lot of people that need on-page optimization, you know, like doing keyword research and putting header tags in and titles, descriptions, all of that. And the big thing with that is it all goes back to the ACT program. Like for you to build a good title and description, the most important thing there is, again, to figure out what is going to be compelling to the viewer so they can click on it. So that's, you know, it all boils back down to the viewers and the users.
Okay.
So
Well done.
yeah, it all comes back to the same thing, and you know, it's so intertwined at this point that that's just, it's like you either do it right or you're dead. You're just dead
You
in
are
the water.
you are cool, John. So
Well, thanks.
yeah.
Let's see. Okay, Ted says a big rainstorm, expecting to lose power soon. Uh-oh, that's no good. You know, people up north, I think there was something up there that was going to wipe out power too this week. So I know several people had emailed me saying they might not be able to get on the call because of power outages. So, but luckily everything is recorded, so you guys don't have to worry. I record everything. So if you can make it, can't make it, we still have it where you can watch. All right, so anybody else got any questions coming in? Anything I can help you with, or you want to share?
So, and this is more of a, it's, how would I say the word? Oh God. I gone to the Kartra site and I still am unsure what the button path is. I think you and I had that conversation before a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And so my request with you would be is next week if we can set up a time to because I'm getting a lot of attention on GregorySantana.com, but nothing works anymore. No links, nothing's working. So, and I know I have to talk to you about the team thing. So,
Okay.
but if anybody, it just to spark the conversation about anybody about the utilizing Kartra.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, on Kartra, I'm happy to do, you know, more Kartra trainings. If anybody if you got like specific things you want to know how to do in Kartra, I can do screen share and show you guys exactly how to do anything you want to do in Kartra. But on yours specifically, Gregory, if I remember correctly, we took everything, did we take everything offline and just put a coming soon and an opt-in?
Yeah, yes, we did.
Okay, so that,
So that's the thing we'll have to work on.
okay, is the opt-ins at least working, right?
I really didn't know how to continue doing that, and then I got distracted with the hedge fund thing got very hot, and
Okay.
I have another distraction on my plate again. The movie that I hope was going to die didn't. So it's, remember the old passage in The Godfather says, just when I thought I was getting out, they dragged me back in again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I went to a thing on Thursday night, and I ended up making contact with Warner Brothers and Universal and Paramount and CBS, and they're interested in knowing more about the project. And I was like, oh shoot.
Oh, cool.
I promised I was going to show up. I promised I was going to do my part, but I was not anticipating that I was going to get a good response. As it is, I got a good response. So I got to follow through my promise of that project.
Is this the one about the princess girls or something?
Oh no, that's my nephew. He's totally independent from that. No, this is a drama to be shot in the Canary Islands in Spain because they have a 45% tax incentive, and they have Game of Thrones is now finished. So now you have thousands of talented people throughout Spain with no work. And so the competition for work is going to make it easier for the cost effectiveness of it. And the other thing is that the Spanish trade office here in Los Angeles is very supportive when you show steps of progress, which we have been doing. So that's where that's at. The dilemma that I have, and I had this conversation. No partnerships, JV only.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get my the friend producer to he says, "You're my partner." I says, "No, I'm a hired gun. I'm not a partner," because he's making decisions on his own, and I'm going like, you know what? I'm not comfortable with this, so I'm gonna restate my position. The thing is there's money at the end of the tunnel, providing that all the steps go through, and I do have the people and the team behind it that he doesn't have, and I don't know how much I really want to give up on that because that's valuable. I mean, I'm the one that pays and goes to the conferences. I'm the one that has no fear to walk up to the CEO or an executive of acquisitions and say, "Hi, my name is Gregory Santana. I'm working on a $5 million project that she shot in Spain, blah, blah, blah." And I get their attention or I don't get their attention. One guy was so cool. I went to him, introduced myself. He says, "Oh, come over here. I want you to talk to the guy in charge of the international market." And he dragged me across the room. It's like, it was so cool. And then the guy, as soon as I told him what I was up to about shooting in Spain, he says, "Here's my card. Call me."
Yeah.
So, but the thing is now, this buddy is like, I have to find a path where I'm still engaged to get rewarded for what I'm involved, but I am not a partner.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that. I'll shut up. Bye.
Yeah. That's the thing. And I know I had a conversation with Gregory about partnerships, and I've been involved in many partnerships, and I know a lot of people that have been involved with partnerships. And what I know, I mean, I learn by observation, whether it's my own or others. And what I've learned by observation is, and I've heard this is a saying that I've heard from some very wise business people. And they say the only ship that doesn't sail is a partnership. So what the reality of the situation, when you look at the difference, like I analyze things, I look at businesses that fail, and I look at businesses that just skyrocket and boom. And one of the things that I've noticed is there's always a need for collaboration because one guy can't do it all. So that makes people think, well, I need a partner. But no, the partner thing just tears things apart. If every time you get a 50-50 partner, what is going to happen, and I don't care what the reality of the situation is, this is going to happen. Partner A is getting 50%, partner B is getting 50%. Partner A is always going to think he's doing more and he deserves more, and partner B is going to think the same thing. Eventually, that is going to lead to each one of them doing less and less because they think they're doing more. And it tears the thing apart. And that I've seen that over and over and over. And, you know, there's a lot of sayings and things that have just been passed down through history that are really, really true. You know, one of them is too many chiefs, not enough engines. You know, you need one chief, one driver, that's the business owner, and he can hire in all the talent he needs. Typically, and I say this and I'm probably going to bruise some egos here, and I don't mean to be hurtful or harmful in any way, but this is probably, sometimes the truth hurts. A lot of times an entrepreneur is better off in a position under a business owner. The business owner is meant to drive the ship. If the business owner handles all that minutia, it allows the entrepreneur to be free to create. So sometimes they're better off in that position. Like, look at Steve Jobs, for instance. He was not the business guy. There was a third person involved in that whole operation of building Apple. You know, you had the tech guy, you had the innovator guy, and you had the money guy. Steve Jobs was the innovator guy. He didn't turn the bolts. You know, that was his partner that actually created it, brought his dream to life. And then they had a money guy that actually ran the business. So that's like what you've got. You've got all these different pieces, but one of them needs to be in control. And unfortunately, the rest of them need to be disposable. And what you want to do, if you're the entrepreneur, you want to be so good you're indisposable. They can't live without you. And that's really, and again, this is strictly my opinion, but it's based on what I've seen over a lifetime. I've seen so many really phenomenal entrepreneurs that drove businesses straight into the ground because they need to be focused on what they're good at. And I know you guys have heard this over and over: stick with what you're good at and hire people to do the rest. If you're a business owner and you're trying to do your accounting and you're trying to do your taxes and you're trying to do the lawn maintenance on the building out in front, how are you ever going to do your real job? How are you ever going to make money? If you've got people selling your product, you can focus on making sure the product's going to get delivered. If you're trying to do all of that yourself, you've got one chief and you got no Indians to do the work. So, and that's just like folklore tales of stuff that's just come down through history. You have to have a process in place where, okay, one person is going to put this together and he's going to drive the train. If you look at a train, there's an engineer. That's the guy that drives the train. There's a whole bunch of other people that support that train getting from A to B. And then you've got paying customers that are paying everyone's salary. Business is the same thing. So it's just a little food for thought when you're looking at what you're doing and looking at your own business. I really don't recommend getting partners. You don't need partners. You need people to do things that you can't do, and you can pay them for that. And if they stop doing it, then you can stop paying them and send them on their way really, really easily. You get a 50-50 partner. You don't just send them on their way when you're not happy with them. It's ugly. It's a nasty thing when that comes to an end. And so that's my recommendation to anyone that's considering a partnership. I would look at, why do you need a partner? Can you not hire the piece that you're missing? One of the biggest reasons I see people go for partnerships rather than hiring what they need is it's two things, and they both revolve around scarcity and fear. It's the scarcity that they think they don't want to spend the money to buy the services that they need, and then the fear of, if this doesn't work, I don't have a partner to blame half of it on. And I would get both of those things out of your head. If you need somebody to make money, again, this is back to business. If you spend money in a business, it should return money. So if you're thinking, hey, I need person A to do this thing, and this thing in my business is going to make me $100,000, and the person that I can hire to do that is going to cost me $50,000, that's a pretty no-brainer decision to make. I'm going to put 50 grand on the table and it's going to bring me back 100 grand. That's a pretty no-brainer, thing to make a decision on. Now, again, if you look at that thing and, okay, well, I could hire this guy for 50 grand, but I don't have any idea how it's going to make me money, that's a bad decision. You should be spending money to make money. And if you don't know how you're going to make money with the spend, then you shouldn't spend it. It's just really plain and simple like that when it comes down to business decisions. So anyway, I've probably beat that horse to death. And we'll move on. Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, that reminds me of Dan Kennedy. One of the things that he said that has never left me is, he said, how is what I'm doing right now leading to money? And I've found, in my experience, that it's great to be an owner, or, to be the boss, to be your own boss, but it can also be dangerous because you get wrapped up in things that you forget it's not how is it leading to money? And a lot of things don't, you know, there's only a few things in a day I've found that do lead to money. So yeah,
Yeah.
great advice.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The other thing too, you know, some people will want to become a business owner just for the status. You know, they just say, oh, you know, I own my own business. Well, you know, to me, I'm like, that's not really the important thing. It's like, how well are you doing? You know, if you're doing well, I don't care if you own a business or you're a high paid salesperson, or, you know, if you're doing well and you've got freedom in your life, I think that's great, whether you own a business or not. That's the whole goal. So that's more important to me. Okay, we got a question about participating in the Kartra affiliate program. As soon as you sign up for Kartra, you're automatically enrolled in their affiliate program. If you're not signed up, you can still sign up for an affiliate account, I believe, without having a Kartra paid account. I believe you can still do their affiliate program. They have a whole affiliate marketplace, in fact. Like whether you have a Kartra account or not, when you sign up for my Kartra affiliate program, which I offer, I think a lot of you guys don't realize I offer an affiliate program for the ACT program, and it's run through Kartra. So when you sign up for that to be an affiliate of mine, you're automatically in the Kartra system, and you can sign up for to sell their products. And also they have an entire marketplace, and their marketplace has thousands of different products. Like I put the ACT program in the Kartra marketplace, so everyone in there has access to be able to sell it. So it's really easy to sign up for their affiliate program. And let's see. Okay, and then as far as like payment, how you get paid from that, when you make referrals, you use the affiliate links, and when people follow that link and sign up for the program on the other end, there's always a specified amount that you get paid out. That is set by the vendor per product. Like I've got some products where I pay out, you know, 50% on the first sale and then 50% on the back end. I've got some where it's 50% on the front, 25 on the back. So it's really dependent on the vendor and what they're offering. I have certain affiliates like that are considered super affiliates, where they make me a tremendous amount of sales and I give them a higher commission, and I make that specific just for that affiliate. You can do that in Kartra as well. It's really a cool process, a cool system.
So we should go to Kartra.com, Kartra site, then we sign up.
Yeah, the other thing you can do if you can't see how to do it from there, if you go on to my site, internetdominators.com,
okay,
go down to the bottom in the footer, there's a link that says become an affiliate. And if you click that link and you sign up for my affiliate program, it's in Kartra, so that's automatically going to create a Kartra affiliate account for you. And then you'll have access from there to promote any of their products or any of the stuff in the marketplace.
Fine, that's fine.
That's an easy way to get in and do it as well. Okay, got a question here. How can we optimize while creating a number of avatars, or the number of avatars?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, John. Yeah, this is Mahendra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. So I asked this question that how we can optimize, right? So basically, I'm still in a business idea, which is more like coaching kids, right? So the kids are from, let's say, from age 3 to age 25. So there's like very big range of students, and every student is different. So if I'm going to create an avatar, so it will be like a large number of avatars. So how should I move ahead? So should I move with the, let's say, specific range of students, then come with my business model? Or let's say if I should create avatar for every student and then try to find out whether there's a market or not?
Well, the first thing, you want to make sure that there is a market for whatever it
Right.
is that you've got. And a lot of times what will happen is within a market, you'll have a lot of different segments. And like, for instance, different age brackets might have different needs, different concerns, different desires. So that would be a segment of the market. Each segment will typically have an avatar. A lot of times what will happen is you're going to wind up having multiple avatars for the same product or the same service. Like if you were offering coaching, you might have like different age brackets that have a different reason for the coaching. They might have different needs and things. So you want to create multiple avatars for that. And then on your website, you might segregate that by buttons. Like if somebody lands on your website, you want to have these different buckets that represent the different avatars so they can click that button and then they go to a section of the site that speaks specifically to them. And you could take a funnel, like if you're doing a Kartra funnel or any kind of a funnel that you're building, create the funnel and then duplicate it and then change the languaging for the next avatar.
Okay.
So you might wind up having 3 funnels for 3 different avatars selling the same product. And what that will do is it will help you to convert. So that will help, like if you're going to send a bunch of people to your site and they're all going to go to the home page and you haven't got them segregated, you can let the home page separate them for you by those buttons.
Okay.
So they call that self-selection. And I recommend that a lot for realtors, you know, because they have buyers and sellers, and the thing that the buyer wants is exactly opposite of what the seller wants. So if you don't separate them and you start talking the wrong thing, you'll turn them away. You know, you got a buyer that wants a good deal and you have a seller that wants maximum amount for their house. So you can't have that same conversation with both of them or you'll lose it.
So let's say if you're going to have a lot of avatars, right? So each avatar is going to have a different message, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it not going to confuse the customer? So let's say we should have only a specific number of promotional messages or something like that. Because if there are too many products are there, so maybe the customers might get confused with that.
Well,
that's a possibility.
That's definitely a possibility. What that comes into play is landing pages. A lot of times, you know, really good marketers will have hundreds of landing pages. And a lot of times they're testing them. They're testing a different message to different segments of markets. And what they do, they run their test and then they look at the test results and they say, okay, this segment of traffic converted really good with that message. So now we're going to build a funnel and that's a section of our site that we're going to build into the website. So that's a lot of times how they'll do that. They'll test a whole bunch of stuff and then they'll look at the test results and then they'll build the site out based on those test results.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. But rather than building a whole funnel out, you can build out, you know, just simple lead magnets to start the process of testing and build a bunch of different landing pages and see which messaging really gets the conversion to get them to take the free lead magnet.
Oh.
That's a really cool way to do that. And then once you do that, you know, they're opting in for that lead magnet. You have them separated in your database now based on tags that they came in for. And now you know how to communicate to your database. That's a really important distinction. When people are opting in, you want to make sure that you tag them in your marketing system. Because later on, if you don't tag them, what you'll wind up with is you'll wind up with a database full of people and you don't know who they all are or why they got there, how they got there, you know, what is important to them. But if you have like a landing page and they opt in, you want to put certain tags on there so you know how they got to you, what the traffic source was, you know, what the lead magnet was that they took. And at the end, you know, when you look at your database, you might have one guy and he might have 10 tags. That's okay. You might have another guy that only has 1 tag. when you're sending out bulk email to the list, you can separate who is going to get this email based on those tags. You can say, you know, I want to send this message out to people that were interested in product A, but didn't buy product A yet. Because if you're sending them a special offer and you send it to people that have already bought it, they might feel bad because they didn't get that good deal.
Correct.
So when they make a purchase, anytime they do something in your funnel, you want to make sure you put a tag on them so you know as much as you possibly can about them for future communication. Like we'll talk very differently to people that have already purchased a particular product versus those that haven't. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's really good. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. All right. Gregory put in the Limbacher mantra, money out must bring money in. I think I've heard that before with a shark attached to it. Okay, how do we find different audiences for different businesses? What you want to look at, a lot of your analysis is going to lead you to that conclusion just kind of naturally. Like one of the things is if your analysis says that, okay, people are searching for a particular keyword, you know they're aware of that. And you know since they're searching for it, you can get in front of them either through Google paid search or through SEO. If they're not searching for it, it doesn't mean that they don't need it. Doesn't mean that there's not a group of people that are in pain. All it means is they're not aware yet or they don't know what to look for. So with that, you want to get in front of them wherever they are. If they're older age group, Facebook is a really good place to find an unaware audience. You can target them in Facebook based on other things that they do that has that common pattern. You know, like you might say, okay, my product appeals to people that follow this particular person. So you could target them specifically because they follow that person. You can bring your ad in front of them and make them aware and then give them some sort of a call to action so you can move them toward helping them. You know, if you have a younger audience, Facebook isn't probably the place. Younger audiences on different places. They're looking in things like Reddit. They're on a lot of those other social media platforms. And for some reason, the younger generation they hate Facebook for some reason. You know, probably because it's the same thing. Like when you look at kids, they don't want to be in the same room with the adults. You know, they want to go off on their own. Yeah. And they see, okay, well, the adults are in Facebook, so I don't want to play there.
Oh,
you know,
fine.
It's all back to that, you know, common base psychology. If you look at that, it answers a lot of questions. So it's, I have an analogy for that. I say, you have to fish where the fish are if you want to catch the fish. You know, if you're fishing in water that doesn't have fish in it, good luck. So that's kind of a way to think about that. Your analysis reveals a lot about that. It'll reveal a lot about, you know, who you're after, what's important to them, where they're hanging out, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, fine.
So that's kind of the solution to that. All right, let's see here. I think we got to the end of the questions. Anybody else got anything before we wrap up for today? I don't know if you guys saw, I'm doing a webinar on SEM Rush at 12:30. So that's coming up in about a half hour. You guys should have all gotten an email on that. If you're interested in that, we'll also be recording it and it'll go into the members area. So no problem if you can't make it or whatever, but that should be interesting. I'm going to go through, I've been through it a couple of times before, but a lot of people wanted me to go back through, and I know they had that promotion where they were taking out the content piece of the pro version, and they did that on October 1st. So they were true to their word. They actually did it. So good job if you wanted it and you got in before that. But anyway, they do have a free version as well. And it might be good, you know, just to see how it works. And it's a great program. Somebody asked me this morning, you know, why would I do SCM Rush over this other tool that they saw? And I looked at it and I'm like, well, the biggest reason that I like SCM Rush, and it does something that none of the other tools I've ever seen does, is your ability to just put your domain name in and it will tell you all the keywords that you rank for. There's all kinds of tools that track ranking, but you have to know the keywords. I don't have time to like hunt and peck and try and figure out what it is I'm already ranking for when SCM Rush will just spit it out for me. If you're doing SEO, it's really important to know what you have traction for, because it gives you a clear picture of how Google sees you. If they're ranking you for keywords that you weren't aware of, that means Google thinks you're important to those keywords. And if that's not true, if that's not what you want, then you need to retrain Google into getting them to feel like you're important for the keywords that you want to rank for. So it's important to understand how Google sees you, and SCM Rush gives you a clean snapshot of that in about 10 seconds. So I don't know of any other tool that does that. That's why I promote it. That's why I use it. And that's why I find it so beneficial. I use that tool on a daily basis in my business. And not really sure what I would do without it, to be honest, because I don't have time to go hunt and peck to try and get information like that. I'm on a call. I've got a 15-minute consultation call. I need to have at my fingertips everything I need to know to do that consultation, and SCM Rush does that for me. So it's an awesome tool. All right, so I think that is about it. Anybody else? Any last minute things before we wrap it up for today? All right, guys. Well, thank you all for being on here, and thank you for the questions. The questions drive the call. So this is all for you guys. So it's free. You can always ask me anything you want.
And you too, also.
All right. Well, thank you again, and we will see you all next week. Have a great week, everybody.
Definitely, I believe. Yeah, sure.